You can never sleep on Howie Roseman to make a big move to improve this roster. That's why on today's show on Eagles Now, I'm Chase Sr., we're going to talk about this and explore it. Should the Philadelphia Eagles this offseason trade for Davante Adams? Because after the benching of Derek Carr, he took Carr's side, who he played college football with at Fresno State, and he said that Derek Carr was the lone sole reason why he went to the Las Vegas Raiders. And for Davante Adams, one of the best wide receivers, not just of this generation, not just right now in the current moment, one of the best wide receivers that we've seen all time. He's a two-time first-team All-Pro. He's made it to the Pro Bowl 6 times, and he's surpassed 1,200 receiving yards in 4 of his last 5 seasons. And the one time the last 5 years he didn't get there, he was 3 yards away. Here's a look at Davante Adams' production from 2018 to 2021, and then we'll take a look at his 2022 numbers. 2018 really started to make some headway as one of the more dynamic playmakers in this beautiful game. 111 catches, nearly 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns. Only played in 12 games the following year and still was 3 yards away from that 1,000-yard threshold. Still caught 83 balls that year, and this is before they implemented the 17-game season with 5 touchdowns. In 2020, one of the best single seasons that we will ever see from any wide receiver when he reeled in 115 balls from Aaron Rodgers for nearly 1,400 yards and an astounding 18 touchdowns. And then last year, 123 catches, even more than that record-breaking 2020 season for more than 1,500 yards and 11 tutties. And for a moment, think about this. The Raiders this year and Davante Adams have had subpar quarterback play. So don't these numbers shock you, considering that Derek Carr has been a bottom-tier quarterback in 2022? I want to take a look at Davante Adams' numbers, and I was shocked that with 2 games left, he's probably going to have, once again, 100 receptions for more than 1,300 yards because he's going to get 10 more yards barring injury the final 2 games, 12 touchdowns, average yards per catch of 14.7. So even with a mediocre to bad quarterback this year in Derek Carr, who's having a down year, and I think he's better than what he's shown this year, Davante Adams has still been able to show up, show out. That's how special and unique he is at that wide receiver spot. Now, if a trade for Davante Adams happens, any big move that happens, no matter what time of day it is or what time of year it is, you know who has you covered? Philadelphia Eagles Now. 800 people away from 39,000 subs. By the end of the season, we have to get to 40,000 subscribers because I think we bring something to YouTube that's very, very unique and different. Informative, entertaining analysis. This is your home for daily and year-round Eagles coverage from a guy who grew up in the Philadelphia area. So support the show, and if you want to stay in the know with all things Birds, subscribe today. Of course, trading for Davante Adams does come with a cost. Here's a look at his contractual figures, as he's one of the highest paid wide receivers in the NFL. But Howie Roseman is a financial genius, and he can always pull off salary cap gymnastics because he's just a wizard when it comes to that. And that's a part of his rise as an NFL executive. And it really all started when he went to college in Florida. 2023, $6 million base salary. So he's actually pretty affordable with a cap hit shy of $15 million. The Eagles can afford that. 2024, contract goes up. Base salary sub 17 mil with a cap hit of $23.5 million. 2025, base salary increases more than double, up to nearly $36 million with a cap hit of 44 plus, and in 2026, same figures there. He does have a potential out in 2025, but that does come with a cap charge, dead cap charge, of nearly $16 million at 15.7. But I think that he has plenty of good game left. I think that Adams is a wide receiver, given his playing style, that he's going to age really well. He's going to be a productive player for a really long time. And a lot of people are probably in the comment section saying, this is clickbait. This is never going to happen. Did you say that about an A.J. Brown trade? Did you say that about some of the aggressive moves that Howie Roseman has made and they've come to fruition? This is what we know about Howie. We always sit back and say, how he do that? He's always lurking. You can never rule anything out with him. He's always looking to improve this football team, and he could look to improve this football team if Davante Adams asks out after this year because, again, he wanted to go to the Raiders to team up with his college teammate from Fresno State in Derek Carr. Today's poll question is this. Would you, in the shoes of Howie Roseman, trade for Davante Adams? Type T for trade, type P for pass. Let us know down in the comment section. The Eagles still have some pretty good draft capital. 2 first-round picks, by the way. It could happen if the Eagles wanted to do it. Now, when we have this conversation, a lot of people will say, no, we don't need Davante Adams, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. That's true. But a lot of people, when we've been talking about wide receivers the last couple of weeks, have said, what about Quez Watkins? He's their number 3. I'm fired up about this. Until he proves us otherwise, outside of a couple of big splash plays in which he takes the top off of the defense and he gets vertical, can we stop talking about Quez Watkins like he's some special player? He has not proven to me that he's a special player. He's fast. He's more of a gadget guy. He's inconsistent. He drops the football. And as we saw against the Dallas Cowboys, doesn't play aggressive enough. Isn't strong with the football in his hands. And I want to see him show us that he's not just some training camp Ferrari. And I want to see him get it done in the regular season. Now, it's hard for him to get it done and put up big numbers in the regular season when he's playing alongside arguably the best wide receiver tandem in the history of this franchise in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. A.J. Brown having a great year, 80 catches, 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns. Devontae Smith, he's gone off the last 2 weeks, 79 catches, 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. I believe it's the first time in franchise history that the Eagles have had 2 wide receivers who have surpassed 1,000 receiving yards in a single season with 2 games left, and you can already count out that argument of there being that final game because they did it last week against the Cowboys with Smitty going off. But Quez Watkins, 31 catches, 340 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I want to see more production from him. I want to see him become a little bit more consistent before we anoint him as a bona fide number 3. I think the Eagles in the last 2 weeks against the Bears and the Cowboys, they sputtered a little bit offensively, and they've taken a step back because they've been too Quez reliant. They've tried to go to him a little bit too much, which led to those Gardner Minshew turnovers. But even some of those bubble screens, like he is a straight line mover, and he isn't all that shifty. Once he hits that gear and he has that horsepower, he could pick up a lot of speed. But can we stop talking about Quez Watkins like he's some special player, because he has not proven that just yet. Now, today's show is presented by Fetch, and stay tuned because Nick Sirianni could be losing a couple of coaches on this coaching staff. You can earn points on any receipt from any store or restaurant and redeem those points for free gift cards and other rewards to some big retail stores like Starbucks, Walmart, as well as Target. All you have to do to download the app is head to chatsports.com/fetch. And Fetch, a super easy to use and free app that lets you earn rewards on literally anything that you buy. You can scan any physical receipt or e-receipt, and you will earn points for your purchases. And the process only takes seconds. You don't have to worry about where the receipt is from or what's on it. So we're showing you here how simple the app is to use. You open it up, you press the orange camera button, you snap a photo of your receipt, then you hit submit, and you'll see that confetti pop showing you that you've earned more rewards points. It's a simple process, folks. You can also click the e-receipt function to get rewarded for your Amazon purchases, or if you link your Gmail or email, you can also get rewarded for the super chats that you send us. You can then redeem those points for gift cards at some of those retail stores that I talked about a little bit earlier, including Amazon. Fetch is available, iPhone, Android, so use our link, chatsports.com/fetch. Enter the promo code CHAT, and when you scan your first receipt by using our link, you'll receive 5,000 bonus points back. That is the equivalent to a free $5 gift card. Now, I teased this moments ago. Could Nick Sirianni be losing a couple of key coaches during this offseason head coaching carousel and cycle? Jonathan Gannon, Shane Steichen, expected to be sought-after candidates. This according to my eyes. This according to reports out there as well. Gannon, the defensive coordinator. Shane Steichen, the offensive coordinator. This was from Josina Anderson the other day after Nathaniel Hackett got fired. Here are some Broncos head coaching candidates who were being named early in the process. Dan Quinn, Cowboys defensive coordinator. Darrell Bevell, Dolphins quarterbacks coach. Eric Bieniemy, Chiefs offensive coordinator. Sean Payton, the former Saints head coach. They still own his contractual rights. D'Amico Ryans, the Niners defensive coordinator. And Shane Steichen, the Eagles offensive coordinator. Jonathan Gannon has been rumored to be a candidate for that job as well, and last year had a couple of interviews, most notably with the Houston Texans. And this is what happens when you have a good football team and you win a lot of football games. You lose, do good teams, good coaches. That's what happens in the NFL cycle and the NFC cycle when you win ball games. And this is impressive for Nick Sirianni here in year 2 to already be starting a coaching tree when the Eagles were his first head coaching opportunity. That means that he is coveted, he's respected around the league, and that also means, most importantly, he's making quality hires. Another name to think about, Brian Johnson as well, who right now is the quarterbacks coach who's done a great job in his development with Jalen Hurts. So which coach would be a bigger loss between both of those guys, Shane Steichen, Jonathan Gannon? I think it's Steichen because this offense has been one of the best in the NFL this year. Drop us a name down below in the comment section. Let's round out this segment with this. Latest on Gardner-Johnson, who before he went out with that lacerated kidney injury, had a league-high, NFL best 6 interceptions. He was seen in the Eagles locker room on Wednesday, so that's a good sign, drenched in sweat. So that means that his physical activity is there as he tries to come off that injury. Still needs to undergo some CAT scans as well, the tricky aspect of that kidney injury. But NBC Sports Philly making some good points on the CJ Gardner injury front. With all previous players coming off IR, the Eagles opened their practice window before the Wednesday practice, the week they returned to action. By not opening his practice window, it remains unclear when he'll be able to return. The Eagles finished the regular season against the Saints and Giants and would open the postseason the weekend of January 14th to the 16th if they are a wild card team, or January 21st, 22nd if they get the number 1 seed in the NFC. It is still conceivable, but not at all likely they could open up his practice window later this week and still get him back for the Saints game to go up against his former team. But when it comes down to this, especially considering the context of the injury and the severity of it, I understand that CD Deuce probably really wants to play against the Saints. But if he's not even practicing, his conditioning level probably isn't up to par for him being ready for NFL action. And don't risk him to further injury because this Eagles defense is so much better with him. And now that you're going to be without Davante Adams with that quote-unquote serious toe injury, you could play CJ Gardner-Johnson in the slot and then move back Reed Blankenship to safety after he would be relegated, if Maddox was healthy, to the backup safety role. Then you have Blankenship and Marcus Epps with CJ Gardner-Johnson at that nickel corner role. Now, if you're still watching, most importantly, though, you're subscribed to the show, helping us get to 40,000 subscribers in the process. That means that you're a real one. So type real one. We'll show you some love back in the comment section.